1, 2, check. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, 3, check. Hello, my name is James, and I am a person in recovery. For 8 years, I've been saying recovered alcoholic or recovering alcoholic, but I have now learned through a peer support specialist training class for certification that the language in recovery changes. And the 12 steps is one modality of recovery, and there are multiple pathways. My name is James, and I am a person that is hosting this live stream addiction recovery podcast on the Sober James channel. I do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, usually between 8 p.m. Eastern time. Last night was Friday night. I missed it. I had an especially special day yesterday, including peer support class online. I'm having a blast in these online courses, yo. Have any of you guys taken online courses? My goodness. So much fun. Maybe it's just because it's a topic that I'm interested in. Maybe it's just the novelty of the class. What's up, Noah? How you hanging in there, brother? What's your best over-the-counter substance to focus besides Adderall, do you think? You're talking to someone who is 3 days off of Adderall. I am quitting Adderall. I have a prescription to it. Speed and coke and all the uppers have never been my thing. You all know this, but I do take 10 milligram extended release Adderall and have been for the past 7 months while I've been working at the post office. I am no longer taking it. I'm experiencing the benefits and promises of recovery, including energy, vitality, health. I'm about 15, 16 months from deadly drugs. My drug of choice was alcohol. Carissa Davis in the building. She's a classmate of mine. I believe sells t-shirts. I wanted to show you my t-shirt, Carissa. Let me show you my t-shirt. That's a recovery-based t-shirt. Would you say so? Carissa does t-shirts, everybody. And is passionate about making recovery-themed t-shirts. She's done t-shirts, recovery junkie t-shirts, I believe. Carissa, jump in at any time. Carissa, you can call the phone. Let's have a classmate of mine call the phone line. Would you like to call that phone line, Carissa? I can put it on. We can put it on. We can put the phone line on right now if you'd like. I'm going to turn the phone line on, and maybe Carissa will grace us with a phone call. Okay, and I got to turn my desktop on. So we're on our lunch break from this peer support specialist class. And I already had a smoothie. I already got my workout. I can take this class and listen and work out and make smoothies at the same time. I should take more online classes. If you guys are stoked about learning about any topic, look up classes online for them. With Zoom technology and face chat technology, it is really fun, and you don't even have to wear pants. You don't even have to wear pants. Oh, here we go. We got the... Oh, maybe this is Carissa. Let's see.
Call from Carissa.
Hey, Carissa. How's it going?
I did not know how to do this. I think this is so awesome. I want to get into doing all this stuff.
I know.
I like that shirt. I've been making shirts for going on 2 years now since I got into recovery. And I'm starting the base of my recovery junkie shirt now. I've got fonts picked out. I've got colors picked out and all that stuff. I just got to get the paper, get it pen to paper. That's it.
Right on. Yeah. You just get started. Just get started. And if you get a YouTube channel, or when you start your YouTube, that'd be a great way to advertise. I sold shirts on here. I think I have a picture I can show you. But how do you like the class?
I'm loving it. I took it one time before, but it was a lot of messed up situations in it, and I'm learning so much more this time than I did the very first time I took it almost 2 years ago. This class right here is my base for my recovery. Like, this is what I want to do with my life. Like, I can't do this recovery thing without favor or the other parts of my recovery. Like I have to go to my church. I have to go to favor. I have to go get in touch with people that are part of my recovery base, because that's very important. And kudos to you for quitting Adderall. That's a big thing.
Well, I was prescribed to, but it makes me sweat, and I don't abuse it. I can tell you, I'm very honest and transparent on this channel and in life, and I'll just tell you, I don't abuse the Adderall. It's not something that I like. Speedy stuff is not one of my things. It's always downers, benzos and booze and pain pills and stuff like that. So that being said, I'm quitting my daily 10 milligrams in the morning because I think it's making me sweat, and it makes my left armpit sweat more than my right. And the heart is on this, your heart is on your left side. And my buddy just told me all of this and said, so I was like, you know what? I'm done with the post. The reason I was taking it again is because of I joined the postal service, and casing that mail is intense. I don't know if you've ever done that kind of thing, but casing mail is intense.
I got a little surprise for you. My fiance, who's got 4 years in recovery, was going to chime in on this if you didn't mind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a letter carrier?
No, he's in recovery. He's one of us.
Oh, yeah. Right on. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, person in recovery. How's it going? My name's James.
I'm doing pretty good. My name's Chuck.
Josh, you said?
Chuck.
Oh, Chuck. Okay. How you doing, Chuck?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I always like to comment on these recovery things because I think anything about recovery and putting that out there and showing people that we can actually do something. We can go from 2 decades of addiction and running around on the streets, and we can come back, man. And that's a really powerful message that we can push out there all the time. And
Absolutely.
I'm always behind that.
Absolutely, man. I agree. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for sharing that. It is a powerful message. I appreciate
y'all letting me say something. Thank you.
All right. And couples in recovery. This is a topic I've covered on this channel, but I was a couple at a time, but she wasn't in recovery. Carissa and Chuck, how is working out? How is recovery, coupledom in recovery? You guys are engaged to be married in recovery.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we started out in addiction together, rough in addiction together, and we separated. The streets just weren't good to us, and we separated. I thought something crazy had happened to him, and he popped up in my news feed on Facebook, and it was on from there. He separated, got sober. I separated, got sober, and now we bought a tiny house that we're working on. We've got 2 dogs together, and we're making it. We're sober.
Like
That's the big thing. We're sober.
Legitimate tiny house. It's like one of those real tiny houses.
That's where I sit and do my classes at, is in the building.
It's actually a building I bought, and we're just gonna build it from the ground up, make it the way we want it.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. Chuck.
Yeah. Instead of living in somebody else's house, we're gonna build ours. So.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. At first I had to get out of renting apartments, and then I bought a house. And in 2016, I got sober. Was one of my rounds of getting sober. And 2016, I bought the house after 6 months of sobriety. And it sucks, but it's also like an investment.
Yeah.
Keeping
Big
up the house.
It's investment in the future, man.
Yeah.
I always say, we of course we focus on the present, but there's also it's healthy to kind of glance into the future a little bit and hope a little bit, helps you through.
Hell yeah, I feel you. Cool. Yeah. So peer support specialist. This class is pretty cool, don't you think, Carissa?
I'm loving it. I'm learning so much, just like the different aspects of recovery, like how it affects the whole family. Because we went through the addiction ourselves. We don't realize what we're doing to our family until after we're getting sober, and we're like, oh shit. I was that horrible. Like, there's so much stuff my mom tells me all the time that I don't remember. And it's like, damn, I was that much of in a meth psychosis that I don't remember half of the stuff that I was doing.
Yeah. The family disease part, of course we knew this, but like taking this class is like putting a whole new light on it. It's like, it affects more people than just the addict. You know, it's a family disease. It's a societal disease. We're like a wrecking ball going through a whole bunch of like individuals and like people.
Yeah.
It's
But these classes, I just love, and these classes are bringing out all the good qualities in ourselves. Like, it's making us pull all these things that I know I thought I lost all the good qualities I had from the drugs. I was a heavy IV meth user, and I did whatever pill I could do. And I know the meth was turning into fentanyl towards the end, and I know I couldn't keep going the way that I was going. I was very against fentanyl because my dad died from fentanyl. He was on a pain patch, and I had a hole in it, and it put out too much medicine, and it killed him. So I tried to stay away from fentanyl, but at the very end of my addiction, the last 2 years of my addiction, the fentanyl got very, very heavy in the meth. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And like, I was noticing that I was like not acting normal. Like it was just not me anymore. And I was like, I can't keep doing this. And I was like, I went to jail. A girl set me up with a 0.5 gram, and it was hers, and I took it. I pleaded for rehab. I got into rehab. I went to a couple of different rehabs. I tried to start one. It didn't work out, but it was okay because it was all experience learned.
right.
To better do the job that I'm wanting to do in life. Like, I don't care if I'm not necessarily aiming to work specifically for favor, because I know it's not, you know, I don't know what the odds of that happening are, but I know that there's plenty of other rehab centers or plenty of other places that need the peer support help. And that's what makes me do this.
I got to ask you a question. I got to tell you something and then ask you a question. Number one, Favor in Greenville is where I'm going to apply to first. Like, I think it's not far-fetched. I've already talked to them. Maybe they'll hire me, maybe not. I don't know. But like, and then I was going to ask you, did you enter this class kind of wary that this is kind of like a pipe dream? It might not get us a job or anything.
I do. But I have a Lord Savior, and he tells me that you're not doing this for no reason. This is exactly what I've got you going through for a reason. This is your planned path. I know that I've got a job in this when I get done. Now, my absolute ultimate end game dream is to own a recovery store with my apparel in it, have some, you know, people that are in recovery, maybe helping me learn how to make stuff, you know, use them as staffing to, you know, but at the same time have trained peer support there to where we can have meetings if we need somebody to coach, if somebody needs coaching. You know, that's like an end game dream for me. Like, that is what I could see myself retiring at.
Hell yeah.
And I know that's not the normal dream, but that to me seems like more of a pipe dream than getting a job at Favor or in a recovery center.
Well, pipe dream, because what I meant by that is, like, it seems too good to be true. These people are these people are gonna like that I haven't had a W-2 job in 7 years. These people are my future employer that I'm applying to is going to prefer that I've had a tainted past with the law. You know what I mean?
See, I struggled with that. I've got a rap sheet myself. I've got a rap sheet.
Right.
And so I thought, you know, I was told when I got into this, you know, sometimes that's the kind of thing that helps you because that's all lived experiences.
Right.
And like for places like Favor, it wouldn't, like they're more, I don't know about the hospital, but I know Favor is very open to a lot of things. And that is, some people get confused with that.
Well, there's hospital jobs through Favor. That's what I'm talking about. I'm, like I said in class, I'll believe it when I see it. You know, I'll believe it when I have a peer support job, hopefully in about a month or so. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're going to be a good one.
Well, so are you.
I want to hear about these other meetings too. That's in Greenville. All these other cool meetings you and Casey were talking about, like the in the dark meetings and the.
You've been to the Dharma meeting at. Does Anderson Favor do Dharma meetings?
No, I haven't. They do have them, and I want to check that out because I'd like to check out all pathways of recovery, and that's another pathway to recovery. And I've wanted to check into that just to see what it is because they do a lot of meditation. They share, and you know. When I go to a meeting, I usually share. Depends on which meeting I'm at. Because I know that, you know, like the other day I was in Anderson at Favor, and there was a room full of people, and you know, I just knew that I had to say something in a room full because I know that I have the experience to share. You know, I love everything that Favor's doing. Favor pretty much saved my recovery. I went through the first
Faces
year
and
and a half with
Voices
12
of
steps.
Recovery. Faces and Voices of Recovery. Glenn M in the chat is asking what favor. It's Faces and Voices of Recovery. Now, I don't know nationally how, I don't know where, if favors nationally. Do you know that, Carissa?
I heard Tara saying something yesterday about DC maybe having a favor. There was some kind of recovery thing in favor, but I could have sworn she said Faces and Voices. I could be wrong, but I don't know if it's just this state or not.
Yeah.
That's something that needs to be, I know there's other locations, like there's one at the beach. It's called Access Favor there, where up here it's Upstate Favor.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I love how you can say you're a person in recovery, because that breaks a lot of stigma. And it makes you not looked at so funny. I messed up when I went to the first rehab. I messed up and said I was an addict, and I was never an addict. I was never an alcoholic. I was an addict. And that messed me up because they looked at me funny. And so when I got to Favor, and I've known about Favor, they're more open about I'm in recovery. Mm-hmm. That makes a big difference to me.
I like how some of them, you ever been to a Favor meeting and they introduce them, so somebody will be like, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm a person at this meeting.
Yes, I love that, because at least you're here, you're present.
Yeah, you can basically identify. Favor is, yeah. I know a lot of 12-steppers that also go to Favor. I see a lot of my fellow 12-steppers in there, but even behind the desks. You know what I mean? Like Matt from Spartanburg, he identifies as 12-step program. By the way, Kayla's in the room. I think Kayla's from the class. She's from the class. So she says when we get certified, is it just for South Carolina or all over? That's an awesome question. I think NADAC is what you're looking for, National Accredited Department of Addiction Center or something, NADAC. So Kayla, he's a person in the my 12-step rooms. I'm an AA'er through and through, this whole channel. But at the same time, I'm all about anything and everything that can help addicts recover. So NADAC would be.
And right now, there's so many other pathways to getting recovery.
Right.
There's so many.
It's so great.
Honestly. And a lot of personal people that have recovered, they're so passionate about what has saved their life. In my example, it would be AA is like a higher power to me. So like I can get where there's a lot of resistance to people who have been saved by a method of recovery, whether it's Celebrate Recovery or Favor or Dharma or AA. You have that sentimental like dearness to your own method of recovery. So it's hard to break out of that, but this class is helping me do that. You know what I mean? Because I was, at some points in my life, I was ready to like fight if somebody was talking shit about AA and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
and I kind of say I'm a little biased to Favor now, and I say that because of the openness that it has.
Right.
The ultimate possibility, the unlimited amount of possibilities of how to get sober. As long as it works for you and you're staying sober, then that's all that matters, and that's all that Favor cares about. And like, I appreciate the AA rooms. I do. Even though I had a not so good experience with it, I still learned from that. And I learned from a lot of old heads. I learned from a lot of people that had 20 plus years in recovery. Right. It's not like I didn't take anything from these meetings, but for me, I just ended up having a bad experience with it. But I learned from it, and I still took those tools that I learned. Like, I still did my 12 steps. I did them multiple times. I still 4-step people. I still do that as a part of my recovery. I try to anyways. But I know when I'm getting down, I know I got to get to a meeting if I feel like I need to bring myself back up. And that's what I had to do. I was down for a couple of weeks, and I was just like so ugh. And I just had to get into a meeting. And now that I got back into it, I'm starting these classes back. It's kicking me in the butt to get my GED. So, it's all awesome stuff.
Yeah, it is. Or Smart Recovery too is another resource. I would say it's all like, whether you have a main one modality for recovery or not, I would say it's all valuable, even as supplements to your main chosen one, because we all have values and beliefs that are going to fit differently with each modality of recovery, you know?
Right, and that's what we're learning in this class too.
Right, right. Hell yeah. I can't wait. I've been meaning to make a favor meeting in Anderson just to check it a different favor building out. You know what I mean?
And I'll tell you what, it's for across the board. I know I've only been to Anderson and Oconee.
Mm-hmm.
Oconee was where I started. That's where I met Michael, and I know all the people in Oconee very well. I've been going there for years. I volunteer through Favor to where I can do outreach and stuff. There's Favor Training 101 that I took about a year and a half, 2 years ago almost, or a year ago maybe.
Oh, if you're volunteering for Favor, you can get a job lickety split, like right when you get your certificate probably. If you're already volunteering, that's your resume.
Yeah, true.
So you could go right to Favor. You know all of them there and everything. You're already doing groups and shit probably. You could probably just say, all right, I'm on the payroll now.
I'm a big spokesperson for Favor because they saved my life. They really did. I have nothing bad to say about Favor. I absolutely love it with my whole heart. Like, it is a part of me.
Hell yeah.
And doing these classes just make me want to be that much more involved with the community and spread the word of recovery, because it's hard for an addict out there. I've got people reaching out to me that are deep in addiction right now. They're like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I want to get what you've got. Like, I want to get to something like what you have. And I'm like, honey, it takes a lot, but I can help you. You know, I'm not going to, I'm like, she was like, well, what about food there? What about getting to work? What about this? And I was like, honey, I got a place that I got places. We're that broker for resources, so we can pull them out and find them.
Brokerage for resources.
And that's the awesome part of it.
Oh man, so are you concerned about the exam? Like, cause sometimes I drift out. I got ADHD. I'll drift out. I'll be making smooth. I'll drift elsewhere during the class. Like, do you have concerns about the exam? It's 100 questions. For those of you who don't know, it's 100 questions and you can miss 30.
I'm confused as what's going to actually be on the test.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I can go off of what I did the first time, because like I went through the training. I did the 3 weeks of the training, the 46 hours. I did all of it. Only thing I needed was my certificate, but they BS'd me about it. This guy that started a rehab in Oconee, and it messed me up where I had to redo the classes, which I'm fine with. I'm all for learning new stuff. And I was told the classes were going to be different. And so I don't know how the test is going to fare into this other one, but I have a feeling it's not going to be that hard, so to speak. I just hope that, I'm like you, I drift off sometimes. I'm very seriously ADHD, and I've been sick the past couple of days. So it's like my mind is really slipping. Like yesterday, my mind slipped so bad, and I was like, oh man, I hope I didn't miss anything good. Like, I hope. But I think from what Tara said, we're going to go over all this stuff the last Saturday before we finish. So I think that would be a very big help. And I'm trying to think of questions and stuff and write stuff down that I can't, as I do this, because I'm taking notes, I'm looking them over, because I don't know exactly what to expect on this test. That's why I asked Matt, like, am I like a part of it or is it not? Because I don't know if they grade us on that, but apparently they don't, thank God. That's the part that I'm a little nervous about. Yeah. But I know that I think we got it. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
For those of you viewing this retroactively or otherwise, we're talking about our Peer Support Specialist Certification Training class that me, Kayla, Carissa, and Mike, it looks like Mike might be taking. We're on our lunch break. It's training us to be a peer support specialist certified. And apparently and allegedly, and it looks to be true that we can actually get a job straight up after the certification. I mean, my dude in there has a job already, and he's not certified. He's had it for 3 months as a peer support specialist for a rehab. He said he works like basically 9 to 5 weekdays. He said he straight loves his job.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and our church works with that place, and I think that is so awesome. That it's cool that how everybody's getting connected like that. Like, it's bringing in all different aspects of everybody. And like somehow we're all connected, and we're all even more connected by recovery. And now that we're building these relationships now when we step out into our role, we're going to have a good reference. We're going to have good resources, is what I meant. And I think that's awesome. And, doing stuff like this is a way to spread the recovery, because the stigma is awful. It is awful.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's getting better. I've often said these past 10 to even 15 years, even 20, have been just it's kind of like a revolutionary period for recovery. I mean, you got these celebrities, you got sober curious and all these trending terms and shit. It's almost becoming, or as I like to say, sober is the new drunk, yo.
It is. And it's becoming the new cool thing. Like, there is a lot more recovery going on than there isn't. And that's awesome.
Yeah. And the terminology too that they're talking about. They say it's no longer relapse, or maybe it still is relapse, but in the role of maybe favor or the peer support specialist. Yeah, it's like, what is it, Carissa?
Return to use, instead of putting the stigma attached to relapse, because you hear relapse and people automatically are like, oh no. When you say return to use, it sounds a little better than when you say, oh, well, they just relapsed.
Right.
It's like, it's kinder words. And I know that some people are kind of caught up on that, but the kind words and the compassion that go with that is what helps us achieve recovery in somebody.
Yeah, they're focusing on eliminating the stigma to increase recovery rates.
Yes, exactly.
Which is very forward thinking.
Yeah.
There's some AAers I'm not gonna lie, that just like they're mostly old timers, but hardcore diehard AAers will be like, nah, I don't go to favor. Just be careful. But I'm not one of them. I know a couple. I know one that is like the head. He's like the head director of favor, and I think Matt said that too. Sorry, I don't mean to. But yeah, I'm excited about it, and I'm glad you are too.
I'm more than excited about it. Like, this has become like, I got sober for 10 years. I wouldn't even call it sober. I existed for 10 years after using cocaine really bad and meth really bad. My dad died, my nana died, my ex-husband left me. So I used hardcore drugs for a good 8 to 10 years of my life there, or at least 8. And I didn't put into anything. I didn't put into recovery. I didn't see that I had a problem. I didn't think that I would go back to it, because I wasn't putting into it. And then I was in and out of jail. I had been suggested to go to rehab, and I was like, I don't need that. And it was the best thing I did for my life. It took me going to jail and appreciating that I was set there for a reason, and that the only way that I was going to get off these drugs is by getting clean, being forcefully made clean like that. Like, I had to go to jail. So I sat there for 45 days and I took a charge, but I pleaded to rehab because I knew that was going to be the only thing that changed my life.
Right.
And it was. I had a friend that got me from Oconee County to Greenwood, South Carolina. And I went to a place called KRP, which is Keeping Recovery Possible. And it gave me the structure. It gave me the guidance. It gave me the things I needed to maintain a healthy lifestyle again. And I don't deny that at any time. And, I went to a couple other places and they didn't really work out. But where I'm at right now in life, I wouldn't change it for nothing.
Right. Well, whatever it takes, that's what I say, whatever it takes to get you here where you're at. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
For some people, that's relapse after relapse after relapse. Yep. And thank God it didn't take my life, because that's my story.
Exactly.
Over the past 2 decades, but if you have this kind of stuff, basically higher power, this information that we're learning is a power greater than ourselves. It's you know what I mean? Like in this class, it's a higher power. Obviously, this information provides more power for our recovery. So it's like almost like, of all the higher powers, and God is one of them, don't get it twisted, for me at least, but of all the higher powers, I consider AA a higher power. I consider this class a higher power. not in all aspects of my life, but definitely in recovery, because if they say knowledge is power, then applying this knowledge in my recovery would be power, is what it would be.
And for me, my higher power is the one and only. I mean, my higher power is God. Yes, that is my higher power. But I like the way you just put that. You know how favor would be could be a higher power. You know, you put all these things in together, and it creates your whole higher power to help get these people. That could be their higher power to get them sober.
Right.
You know, you put all these things together in this toolbox, and you give them all these tools, and they take what they need out of this toolbox. And sometimes they'll pick up that hammer a couple times. Sometimes they'll pull out that nail finally. You know, it takes the time, but it also takes the grace. And for me, it took a lot of grace and a lot of forgiveness. A lot of forgiveness.
And sometimes we'll use that. And sometimes we'll use that toolbox to break a car window so we can steal it on our way to the dope man's house.
Yeah, that is very true.
And it's all a part. It's all a part of recovery. Well, Carissa, we're gonna get back to class here in a couple minutes. Yep. I'm gonna give us a break. Thank you for calling, though.
No problem. I'll do this a lot more too. And Chuck's got 4 years on him, so we need to get together and start doing this on a regular basis. I think I love doing. I've never really. This is the first time I've done this kind of thing, so yeah. I'm loving it.
It's a whole new world, and you think if you the more addicts you can reach. I mean, I have friends here on this channel for like 4 years old from UK, Daniel Poppycock and shit. I've reached so many people, and then we exchange stories in the chat and through phone calls like this.
Chills, bro. What you're doing is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it's so great.
It's been a struggle. I appreciate that. It has been a struggle at some points to decipher whether, and it's, leave my ego out of it, because you got to be kind of ego driven to be a YouTuber. So you got to kind of leave that out of it, and you got to go for helping people. And that's what has kept the channel up, is the fact that these people have told me, like, James, please keep streaming, even though you feel all self-conscious because you thought your ego was out of control. Just keep streaming, because you've been at least a somewhat part of my personal journey. And I'm like, holy shit. And then in recovery, you start to realize, like, oh, I am worth something. That's what the helping part is.
Oh, yeah. Back into responsibility, back into self-worth, the strength that gives us back to have the confidence to reach for our goals and stuff again. That's golden.
Hell yeah.
You've inspired me to finally just follow through and actually start my TikTok recovery that I'm wanting to start. I want to start out small, so I figured TikTok would probably be the best way.
Well,
so this has definitely gave me the inspiration to finally just follow through with it and do it. After class today, probably. I'm going to probably post something on TikTok. I think I got there. Got to where I wanted to be.
The best advice as an 8-year YouTuber I can give you is just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have a podcast studio. You don't have to have a perfect camera. You don't have to have this, that, or the other thing. Once you just start with the equipment that you have, it'll grow from there.
Right. Yeah, that's... well, let's get ready to go back to class, and it was good to do this. I'm going to do this some more, for sure.
Thank you, Carissa and Chuck, and congrats on your personal recoveries.
You too, bro. You too.
All right, I'll see you in class.
All righty.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Carissa, a classmate of mine, and her fiance, Chuck, I think she said 4 years in recovery. She's making t-shirts in recovery. She's taking a peer support specialist certification training class and is going to pass the exam and become a certified peer support specialist for a hospital, a prison, a woman's rehab, a rehab in general. I'm still learning about the possibilities for employment for the, but she's volunteering at Faces and Voices of Recovery. That's FAVOR. She's already volunteering. So like this service work in recovery is highly beneficial to the individual addict. And I'm speaking for myself, but I can already tell it is in Carissa and my cellies, my classmates, my cellies. And I'm stoked on it. And you may be like, this guy's jacked up on Adderall. I haven't had Adderall in 2 days. And I was taking it for one reason and one reason only, and that is to be able to learn how to case 1,000 mailboxes full of mail. So thank God I'm off it. It made me sweat. It made me all jittery. But what you're seeing here is like, I'm high on a pink cloud, straight up. I've eliminated nicotine. I'm down to 1 cup of coffee, 2 this morning. It was a Saturday. Give me a break. And that's 1 cup. That's not 1 mug that equals 3 cups. I've eliminated cannabis, alcohol, benzodiazepines. And you guys know my viewpoint on neurotransmitters like dopamine coming back online after you start to quit this instant vaping or this instant drinking. Once you eliminate that stuff, which is hard, I get it. I had to detox in the ER. I had to detox with benzodiazepines, ironically enough, but you have to do what you have to do. And then you finally start getting off it. Your body starts coming back online, your biology, your neurobiology and your neurotransmitters. And you start forming neuroplasticity, and your brain starts changing, and your physiology starts changing. My diet and workout habits have been changing. I'm a 1.5 years into sobriety, and my whole life is just coming back online. It's like recovery schmovery. It's called life. Basically, I'm practicing life without drugs and like instant serotonin and instant dopamine. And what my body and some people would say God is giving me is a daily reprieve, a pink cloud, I call it. And I've been cruising on a pink cloud ever since I started hitting the meetings harder and recovery harder, and also fit for task in the building. Glenn, thank you. Polska Power, bruh. Polska Power. I'm Polish, and I think fit for task is too. I'm Polish Lithuanian, but unfortunately, I'm also American. But Polska Power. I'm stoked. For those of you who are in recovery from deadly drugs like alcohol, benzos, pain pills, opiates, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamines, even Adderall abusers out there, mouthwash drinkers, hand sanitizer guzzlers, desperate and hopeless alcoholics that are in recovery, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will tell you this. My life has dramatically changed since I decided to make recovery a career choice. I'm 44 years old. I've been in the workforce since, 16, 17 years old. I've been everything from a grocery store stocker to a commercial industrial union electrician to an aviation electrician with the United States Navy. And I was good at none of those jobs. I am riding on a pink cloud in my 1.5 years of abstinence and sobriety through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous and programs like Favor, and pursuing now, instead of working at the post office like I've been doing for about 8 months, 7-8 months, which I don't like. I had to take Adderall just to do the job. You know what I mean? And I barely did it. Now I get in this class and I feel right at home. Just what Carissa was saying, like this hopefully is not now I don't want to be a negative Ned or a negative, other male name, Nancy, but I feel like this is another pipe dream. Sometimes my addict will grab hold of me and be like, dude, bro, you might as well not even try, bro. This is another pipe dream. It's just another dead end, bro. Liquor store's right around the corner and the benzo guy's right around that corner. Every day, my guy, not so much. The obsession hasn't been with me because of this kind of stuff. It's a sufficient substitute for what used to be my compulsive and obsessive behavior of addiction, drug seeking, instant gratification, dopamine drowning, shit like that. Glenn says they have videos of neuroplasticity in action. Neuroplasticity, in case me and Glenn are talking too nerdy for you. Neuroplasticity is practicing something in your daily life for weeks, months, even years at a time to form neural pathways, new neural pathways in your brain that actually make that behavior a habit. So we now have neural pathways in our brain that's just like, let me get that vape, son. Let me get that 40-ounce, son. I know that's how each and every one of you talk. We now have those neural pathways. We're like, let me get anything to make me feel more comfortable because I'm not comfortable in my own skin. We're addicts. We're addicts for a reason. It's because we're uncomfortable, restless, irritable, discontent. And unless we find a new way, which I found at 12 steps, maybe you find, oh, and I meant to say Celebrate Recovery is a faith-based, Mike, I heard you ask earlier, is there a faith-based recovery program that is not 12 steps? Celebrate Recovery. I don't think they have 12 steps, but I think it's 12. And then also Dharma Recovery, which I have personally experienced. Nice candle lit, focused on the teachings of Buddha. The teachings of the great big fat belly Buddha. Whereas Celebrate Recovery, I think, might be Jesus. You know, maybe not. I wasn't that. I went there twice. It was at a mega church. They had awesome food. It was also for recovering from like divorce, maybe even child abuse. It was multiple things to recover from using church, using, I guess maybe you could say popular religions. It might be, well, let's look it up right now. But as a peer support specialist, I am being trained to listen to your concerns and maybe brokerage some resources. So let's look up Celebrate Recovery and get a proper answer. What is Celebrate Recovery? Celebrate Recovery is a Christ-centered ministry and recovery program that provides resources and relationships to help individuals struggling with hurts, habits, and hang-ups find a new way of living, focusing on biblical principles and a safe, supportive environment. A more detailed explanation. Celebrate Recovery aims to help individuals achieve long-lasting recovery by healing past hurts, developing healthy truths, and cultivating life-giving habits, all rooted in biblical principles. So there is another big book. In AA, we call the Book of Alcoholics Anonymous the big book, but some AAers will speak up that are Christians and say, in the bigger big book, and they're talking about the Bible. The Bible, it could be argued, is the original big book. You know what I'm saying? And the layman might come at me and say, well, Jesus turned water into wine, bro. He was a drunk, bro. No, there are many lessons in the Bible that are very cohesive with the 12 steps and the lessons and principles of the AA and NA and other 12-step recovery programs. Honesty is the first principle. Discipline is another principle of AA. Brotherly love is, I believe, the 7th or 8th principle in making amends. Service, another one of Jesus's teachings, is another principle of AA. The 12th principle, service. So, yeah. I've said it before on this channel, but sustaining sobriety and actually recovering from the trauma that was brought on by our active addictions, actually, if I was to sum it up, it would be you have to learn how to be a good person to actually sustain and recover from. And addiction is not bad people trying to get good. Don't get me twisted. Addiction is sick people trying to get well. But if you practice values, principles such as honesty and service and altruism, selflessness and stuff like that, there's a paradigm shift or a change in your personality that actually doesn't cure addiction, but treats it. You begin you don't think your way into good living. You begin to live your way into good thinking, and your whole thinking gets turned around. Paradigm shift. You begin to do for others. You begin to not fear people and economic insecurity, and you begin to know how to handle situations which used to baffle you because you've switched. You've changed your mind. That's been my experience. But with all modalities of recovery, one thing is for certain: honesty is first and foremost. Am I honestly willing to do whatever it takes to recover, or am I just gonna, kind of hope it happens to me while I'm on my couch? Am I honestly, going to try to make amends to these people, or do I just kind of send them an email to the email that I know they'll never check? Those are just examples, but you know what I mean? Am I looking jacked, fit for task? Guns, baby. Guns. Guns, yo. I keep one under my pillowcase. Yo, what I tell you, physically, you recover. Mentally, you recover. Spiritually, you recover. You start to recover your life, including your guns, bro. I keep one under the pillowcase. I'm super stoked. Hey, we got to make this topic right here, I'm about to say it, we got to make this a topic for the next stream. For those of us in recovery that are sober for a little bit, do you find it hard to act up and be goofy because you think people are going to look at you like you're messed up on drugs? Because I have trouble with acting up and being goofy because, I think immediately those who know I'm in recovery will be like, oh, this guy's relapsed. He's in a recurrence of his drug of choice. He must be zooted on motherfucking coke or something. I'm telling you this right now. I am completely sober right now, and I'm just jacked on life. Jacked. I had a healthy smoothie. I got guns under my pillowcase. I got a brand new tattoo that ain't even finished. I'm taking this peer support class. I may or may not have went on a date last night. And things is looking up. You recover your sex life. You recover your intellectual life. You recover your driver's license. You recover your income. You recover your employment. Everything is recovered. It's like playing a fucking country music album backwards. You get your dog back. You get your job back. You get your girl back. You get your tractor back. Recovery is like playing a country music album backwards. You get your dog back, you get your truck back, you get your farm back. Well, this has been an inspired stream. Let me read some of what my dear viewers and members are writing in the comments. By the way, I do offer a way to support the channel. It is just a membership that gives you cool emojis and stuff. I think I might have pinned it. If not, I'm going to pin it right now. I'm going to post the link to join the Sober James channel. All it is a way to support carrying the message and also get some, get some cool emojis and stuff. I try to throw them on there. Here it is right here. I'll pin it in the chat box in case any of you are interested. And I appreciate those of you, 17 of you, that are current members. But, are we doing a damn thing? I think we're doing a damn thing up in here. Tonight, what's tonight? Saturday? I stream live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mike, maybe I'll get the itch to come on tonight, but definitely Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The reason I'm doing right now is to stay true to you all because I didn't do it last night. Because I cleaned my entire house yesterday. I have anybody, you dudes out there, have you ever experienced this? The only way you will clean your house is if a girl's coming over. Maybe not the only way, but you know what I'm saying? Has anybody experienced this? You need a girl in your life to motivate you to clean your house, because if she's coming over, bro, you can't be having it, you know what I'm saying? Somebody, I looks like I'm feral up in here. It looks like some the wild animal lives in here sometimes. I got dogs, bro. Noah, how's it going, brother? Let me know on the screen if you want to call in or not. I should get going. I got to get back to my peer support class, but let me read some stuff that you guys have been saying. Glenn M, fit for task. Good to see you. Polska Power, you know what I mean? Fit for task. Shelly Powell, thank you for your support and encouragement. All of you, you know what I mean? And thank you for letting me know that I play a part in your recovery, however small. You know, it gives me esteem for self. It's priceless. So consider yourselves heroes. Mike says, I don't remember Glenn M. and all of y'all's. Noah, yeah. So in a couple words, just for the rest of us to know, Noah, that made that phone call the other day when you called in, how are you doing? How's things faring? Kayla, good to see you in the building. Raphael, Carissa, thanks for calling in. And fiance Chuck, congratulations on your coupledom recovery as well. Recovery is hard enough to go through alone. To go through it with somebody else, holy shit, if you guys survived, holy shit. Good job. Noah, hang in there, young buck. We'll talk soon. Fit for task, thank you for the support. And maybe not tonight because it's Saturday, but Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays between 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern Time is when I stream live addiction recovery podcasts on the Sober James channel on YouTube. And until then, keep it clean, keep it real, and keep doing the damn thing. All right, peace.